Gentlemen, welcome to chapter 2. I'm learning, maybe chapter 3 already. I'm learning not to stick my face in the camera. I'm learning that you don't have to see my eyeball or my nose up close. I'm learning just to tell the story. My wonderful cousin, God bless him, I got an email. He says, well, here's what I've gotten from your book so far. Polish heritage, you used to be a nurse and you caught a big fish. He's right, that's great, but it sure isn't one of the stories that I would like to communicate with you about me and my family history and everything that's occurred in my life. So what I'm going to do is, this volume I will go back and start with my grandmother and my grandfather and bring you up to date as to the family. And then I will go extensively into my grandmother's detail and history as much as I can, and my grandfather's detailed history as much as I can, as much as I know, and as much as my cousins who watch this can help me contribute. So, first of all, I love you and thank you for watching this. This is psychedelic for me, but I'm getting better at it, and the proof is in the recording, I guess. Anyway, let me tell you about my grandmother. My grandmother died 41 years ago today. January 11th, 1967, she passed away. And I was thoroughly depressed. But my grandmother was a smart woman. She had a 6th grade formal education, spoke 14 languages fluently, and was a spy in World War I for the Polish underground, for the Polish government, in which she smuggled messages and microfilm from Warsaw, Poland, across the English Channel to London and back. She was a woman. She dressed herself up as a man who had a large knapsack on her back that happened to have just been my Uncle Sam Jerry Rosenfeld, who is now deceased, one of her sons, the first son, the oldest of my passed away uncles, my mother's oldest brother, Shimon, as they called him. Anyway, so my grandmother spoke all these languages and was a spy and did her thing for the Polish government during World War I. And my grandfather, of course, was a soldier for the Polish army. And unfortunately, he was wounded and captured and sent to a Hungarian prisoner of war camp until the end of the war. And I'm not sure how many years he was in that prisoner of war camp. And I'm not sure how long it was before he returned home from the prisoner of war camp. But my grandmother told me that he walked from the Hungarian prisoner of war camp to his home outside of Warsaw, Poland. Now, I don't know how long that was. I don't know how many days or weeks or months it took him to walk, but my grandmother told me that when he arrived at the doorstep at the home, he collapsed, and she said he was a human skeleton. He had just a skeleton with skin there. The protein had totally all wasted away. The muscle tissue was gone. There were no fat stores, and she said he was a skeleton with skin. And it wasn't until later on in life in my nursing career where I actually visualized that. And when you see a human being that's a skeleton with skin, you say, this is what happened in concentration camps all over the world, not just in World War II, but this is what the human man does to humanity. Because humanity's gone, the human factor has been removed, that man is no longer humane. It's very obvious, it's just the way he treats his environment and the people around it, and the animals especially, the helplessness. But that's another story. We're going back to Leah Rolnick Rosenfeld. She comes from, at that point in time, at the turn of the century, I would say maybe a middle-class family. However, her mother and her father worked for the King and Queen of Poland by chance. They were a tailor and a seamstress. And my great-grandmother on my grandmother's side, my grandmother's mother, would embroider silk shirts for the Prince of Poland. Pretty psychedelic, pretty unbelievable, but all true. Anyway, they managed to get together, my grandmother and my grandfather. Don't know how that happened. Don't know the story of how they met. But they were married. My grandmother, Leah Rolnick, married my grandfather, and his name was Henry Rosenfeld. One son of 12 boys and 2 girls. That's a whole big chapter all on its own. We can call that chapter the Rosenfeld chapter, because I mean, you have like 12 boys and 2 girls, and where do you start to count, and how do you do it, and what kind of an order do you put it in? And God bless him, my cousin Sam, he worked on the genealogy of it, and give Sam Schiff credit for what he was able to put together, and love him, and God's taking care of him too right now. But this is the next chapter in my life. A story about my grandmother. Good lady, smart lady. She says, it's real easy life. It's real easy. You should just tell the truth. And that way you don't have to worry about lying or making up stories, being dishonest in any way. She says, go straight, man. Be cool. Be honest. Be trustworthy. Don't lie. She had a philosophy similar to my grandfather's, which is, we'll get into a little bit when we get into my grandfather Henry, but these people weren't the typical Orthodox Jew hypocrites that would say one thing and do another, or celebrate some holidays and not all holidays. And what you need to do is you need to pray to God and ask for forgiveness on a daily basis, not just once a year on Yom Kippur. So he had an open mind, and his grandfather, my great-grandfather Mendel, he was a tzaddik. He was a learned man. He was a well-respected man. God looked like a rabbi, though he wasn't a rabbi. He did start and help start a congregation here in the city of Pittsburgh that is still in existence today, called the Kether Torah congregation. And it's a small little Orthodox assembly of Jewish people who get together and do their Jewishness and their things that Jewish people do in synagogues. So, pray. Anyway, I hope this recording is better. I hope I've been able to sit still and focus on the camera. I don't need to give you contact close-ups of my eyeballs like I did with the last one. So the taping is hopefully getting better. I'm trying. So I'm going to sign off. I love all of you. Thank you for watching. And until the next video session, have a good one, kids. Bye.